Hello, and welcome to Dreams, Plans, and Scrapbooks, the podcast where fond memories are relived and exciting new journeys are dreamed up on the spot. Sit back and relax. The adventure is about to start.
Hello, and welcome to episode 2 of Dreams, Plans, and Scrapbooks. I am Zoe Kreisel, along with my co-host,
Clayton Kreisel.
We are excited you are joining us today for the first part of this 2-part episode where we'll be scrapbooking our trip to California.
That's right. We're going to be recapping our trip in 2 different parts. Today will be us talking about our non-Disney parts of that trip, and in 2 weeks, we will scrapbook the Disney parts of our trip. So let's get started, shall we? How you doing, Zoe?
Well, I'm doing good. Slightly frozen.
Slightly frozen is right. For those of you who do not live here in the Midwest, we are experiencing a unbelievable polar vortex. You guys, if you don't know what a polar vortex is, it's basically where Canada says, here's all our cold weather, take it from us, we don't want it.
We don't want it either. It's miserable.
That's right. You can have it back, guys. You didn't need to be so kind. I know that Canadians have a way of being very generous with their stuff, but they can have their cold back. That's for sure. Well, as we mentioned today, we are going to recap our trip to California, and this week is going to be all of our non-Disney stuff. So let's start by talking about the traveling on our trip here, how things got started. And, one of the cool things about these trips is that we get a ton of opportunities to fly. I love flying. Do you like flying, Zoe?
I love flying. I've been flying since I was 5 years old. It just kind of seems natural to me. And the only thing I don't like about flying is my ears go all crazy.
Yeah. So, my first flight was when I was 20 years old, actually. I actually didn't fly for the first time until I was going to California. Actually, the very first time I flew was to California. And was I 20? I may have been 20. I think so. Yeah, I was 20. And I flew out to see my friend Patrick, actually, who lived out in LA. Still does, actually. And I stayed out there with him for about 2 weeks, about the same amount of time we were out there this time. Maybe a little longer when I went out there. And I flew, and I had a layover in Denver and navigated the air system and everything, the airports. And you flew for the first time when you were 5. And where was your first flight to?
Romania.
That's right. Your very first flight was from Chicago. We drove to Chicago, which was kind of stupid in retrospect, but we drove to Chicago. And we then flew from Chicago all the way to Rome, actually. It was a long flight for your first flight. But regardless, we get to fly. Now, this time when we flew out of KCI. So I was cheap, and I bought us early morning tickets. Originally, we were going to stay in the hotel overnight, but we decided, you know what, we'll probably be fine. We can get there for a 7 a.m. flight. We got to be there by 5 a.m. Do the math. It's about a 2.5-hour drive from here. We left here at about 2:30 to drop off our car at the hotel parking, which, by the way, that is the best way to park at KCI. For $5 a day, you can park at the Days Inn, which is just 2 miles away, and they have a free shuttle. They drop you off, they pick you up. You don't have to stay there. You can just park your car there. Really great service that they provide. So we drove all the way to Days Inn. We parked at Days Inn, and we went on a 7 a.m. flight. We left here at 2:30. We got up at 2. We got to L.A. at 8 a.m. their time, 8:15.
That's what's so amazing about a direct flight. No changes. You don't have to stay in the airport for hours. You don't have to get tired. Just you're on the plane, you're there, you're done.
So be honest. I know originally whenever we told you we were taking a direct flight, you were a little bit upset because you love going through airports. Mm-hmm. Did you like this better?
I don't know. I think there's room for both. Direct flights are easier, but I think that stopping in all the places, stretching, I think it depends how long the flight is. If it's this only, I think it was 3 hours, 4 hours.
Yeah, it was so we sat on the tarmac, if you remember, for like 45 minutes. Unfortunately, our flight got delayed as we were taking off. So we sat in the airplane for 45 minutes before we took off. But after we got in the air, it was actually only like a 2 hour and 15-minute flight. It was very fast. We flew into LAX.
Mhm. And like, I guess what I like about the direct flight is when we got there, like we had plenty of time, like to actually like be there. It wasn't just like a lot of times the first day of vacation is kind of like a throwaway day. You get to the Airbnb or hotel, you settle in, and you go to sleep. But since we did a direct flight and got there so quick, we were able to go to Malibu and see the beach, and then go to a really amazing restaurant with some of our friends.
Yes. And so we got there. You're right. We went to Malibu. First thing we did. We got the car. We rented a
Mhm.
car. By the way, guess what? I didn't pay a dime for the flights or the car this time.
You stole them?
No, I didn't steal. Kind of, actually. So for the last 10 years, we've had credit cards. I have never, in those 10 years, not once, ever paid a single penny in interest. I have paid membership fees, but those membership fees have by far been made up by the fact that we have had free flights on like 8 different trips around the world that we've saved up for. I'm always getting different credit cards, trading them in and out. With my Chase Sapphire card here, I was able to actually get a free car as
Mhm.
well with this one. So we got a free car, we got free flights. We used Delta out of Kansas City. The great thing about the Sapphire card, you can use any flight you want. And because I also got a Delta card, we even got a free bag checked. So we ended up saving thousands of dollars on all that. And we drove to Malibu and we got out at the pier and we were exhausted, but we saw the ocean right away.
Mhm.
Pretty great.
Yeah, I one of the main reasons we go to California so often is because we have very, very close friends out there. We have Mercelin, Ian, JR, Hannah, Sion, and Silas.
That's right. Yeah. So 2 different families. Mercelin and Ian, really close friends. Mercelin actually used to live with us. In some ways, she's kind of like a little sister to me, and I guess more like an aunt to you,
I mean, I
Zoe.
think of her as a big sister.
You think of her as a big sister? Yeah, she lived with us for a couple of years, and
Right
man,
before Eleanor, so I kind of like had her and then I had Eleanor.
yeah, she did. Yeah, I guess I was technically. I don't know if she ever lived with us when we had Eleanor. Did she?
I don't
No,
think
because she had
so.
moved out. Yeah, she had moved to an apartment. But she served in the ministry that we did with us, alongside us. She's a nurse, and gosh, we just love her. And then 14 months ago, actually, she got married. She got
Mhm.
married, and we got the pleasure of going out to California then, and I got to perform her wedding, and um, it was wonderful. For those of you wondering, I'm a former pastor, and so that's why I was able to perform that wedding for her. It was just it was such a blessing to get to see her and Ian doing so well, and we got to spend so much time with them, including right off the bat. Went
Mhm.
to Cafe 27 or wait no Cafe on 27 in Topanga. What were your thoughts about that place?
So I thought it was really good. The sizes were huge, and I was starving, so I didn't really care. I mean, we okay, all four of us shared one breakfast burrito. I mean, like, we were in the middle of meal times and we were really hungry, so we all just shared one breakfast burrito, and that was not enough.
Wait, not at the restaurant.
No, at the restaurant before that, when we
Oh
landed,
yeah.
when we landed, we went to a restaurant and all shared one fourth of a burrito.
Why did we do that?
Because we had a few hours
Was that in the
before.
airport?
No, remember the Hive?
Oh yes, yes. We have a little place in Santa Monica, which was on our way from LAX to Malibu. We stopped at a little place in Santa Monica that we love called the Hive. If you're really into health food, that's the place to go. Everything's organic and fresh, and they've got just delicious food, and they season everything with honey. That's how they.
So good.
It is so good. It's so good, and they do a great job with it. And when I say health food, I don't mean like yucky health food. I mean like bacon and stuff like that too. But like it was just really good
Yeah,
food, and you didn't
but
feel sick afterwards.
yeah.
But yeah, but we were saving up for that, so we only all shared one breakfast burrito, and that wasn't a good idea.
Mm,
So yeah, so we went to Cafe 27 or Cafe on 27. I had a burger. It was great. View is beautiful because you're up in the mountains.
It's
Topanga's up in the mountains.
beautiful.
Yeah, so you drive up through the mountains from Malibu, and then we went into Topanga and went to the mall, and we went to Lotterock Chocolate, which is actually a Swiss chocolate company that mommy and daddy, whenever we were in Switzerland this last summer, went to.
Those truffles were so good.
Oh, everything was. Even above their truffles, you know what I really like? I really like just their straight up chocolate bars.
Yeah, and you can like that. I just like all the fancy stuff.
Yeah, no, I mean they had a ton of it. So I got this whiskey almond, and when I say whiskey almond, I don't mean that it was like had like like some of them have like whiskey shots in the middle of them. This didn't have that. It was just flavored, the sweetness of whiskey and not almonds, pecans, and oh, that was so good. Dark chocolate. Mommy got her famous sea salt caramel swirl, and she told me the other day. She said it may be the best chocolate I've ever had in my life, which that's saying a lot for
She's
mommy.
had a lot of good
She's
chocolate.
had a lot of good chocolate.
She eats a lot of chocolate on a day-to-day basis.
Shh, that's supposed to be a secret.
It's no secret if anyone looks in our trash can. So many chocolate wrappers.
So yes, so as Zoe said earlier, the main reason why we go out to these places is to see our friends, and so 8 of the 9 days that we were out there,
We saw them.
we saw our
And
friends.
the other day that we didn't see them was because they were both working.
Yeah, yeah. So I mean, like, by the way, thank you guys. We love you so much. And I know you're going to be listening to this. And thank you for making our trip a priority and making it special. I mean, you guys took off of work. You guys moved your work schedules, being nurses. Hannah's a nurse too. They're able to move their work schedules around just to be with us. They did all sorts of things with us. They did go to Disney with us. One of them went to Disneyland, and one of them went to DCA. We'll talk more about that later. We went to In-N-Out. We went out to eat a lot of times, and then we just spent a ton of time with them, including one of my favorite things we did was we got to go see what church Hannah and JR and the boys are a part of. They're part of a church plant in oh boy, is it Costa Mesa? I think maybe. Anyway, yeah, I think it's Costa Mesa, just there north of Santa Ana where we stayed, and they are in a church plant. It's a really great place to. It was a really great place to go see the service. It's really amazing what God is doing there. Honestly, they had a ton of diversity. So there's like 3 churches meeting. Well, there's actually more than 3 churches meeting on that campus. But there was a Cambodian church that was really cool, and they had like a joint service with them that day. So every now and again, the preacher would stop and preach in Cambodian, and then like the pastor of the Cambodian church would do that, and then the pastor of the church that we were there visiting also preached. And boy, what a wonderful church! I mean, they have a lot of young people, a very diverse congregation. Where we stay in Santa Ana, if you know much about Southern California, in Orange County, there is a huge Asian population, and I mean all sorts of Asians from the Philippines, which is where our friends are mostly from. There's Koreans, there's Cambodians, there's Vietnamese. There's a ton of different of Asians. So there was a lot of different Asian population there. But then a ton of diversity in age too, and so it was really awesome. I loved the church service, and then they served us to lunch afterwards. Had a regular old community potluck, which was wonderful too.
It was so good.
Yeah, yeah. So that was one of the things I just really loved about spending time with our friends when we were out there. We got to make a ton of memories with them.
I loved when we went to Mercelin's house and we were building the Jenga tower, and then Silas went in and looked at the tower and goes, "Ooh, I'm gonna knock it down."
Okay, so you got to set this up a little bit. Okay,
That's
so
true.
this was after church that same day, and even though we went to church with Hannah and Jr., we drove ahead up to Monrovia, which is over kind of by Pasadena, up towards the valley, and we went up to Monrovia to go to Mercelin and Ian's house. we beat Hannah and JR there. And while we were there, for some reason, I think it was Eleanor wanted to start playing Jenga, right? They had Jenga there.
Mhm.
So we started playing Jenga. And we have the tower all built, and we're playing, and we're visiting with Mercelin, and I don't know if Ian had gotten there
No, it
yet,
was
but
just Ian,
it was,
Mercelin, and Mom and Hannah were
had
actually.
they already left?
Yeah.
Okay. So they had already left. So it was just you. They had left to go to tea. They went to this wonderful afternoon tea. Anyways, though, so it was you, me, Ian, and Eleanor, and we're sitting there playing Jenga. And JR and the boys get there. That's what it was. And they come running over. The very first thing, Silas is what, like four?
Mhm. I think
Three?
he's three.
Is he three?
He's three.
He comes running over. He goes, "Ooh, I want to knock it down." Literally, as we're like, "No!" what a fantastic time we had with them. But then we got to go do something. We went to In and Out after that, and we drove. There was an In and Out close to their house, but instead of doing
This was
that,
ridiculous.
we drove 10 minutes away and went to Baldwin Park, which is really pretty,
Wow.
and to the original site of the original In and Out. Now it's
Same burger we
yeah,
could have got for way less time in a car.
yeah, but you got to see some views. That was kind of cool.
Yeah, that's true.
And if you remember, because it was a Sunday night and it was right at dinner time, it was stupid busy, like all In and Outs are.
Mhm.
And seven of us sat around a four-person table. And Ian and I are pretty big dudes, and JR is not like tiny by any means. So like, you had three pretty big guys, and then four more kids, but all trying to fit around that table. But we made it work, and boy, it was good. I love In and Out so much. I got a triple with grilled onions.
That's
That's
gross.
my way to go.
Double at max. And then we went to ice cream, which we probably shouldn't have done because we had shakes at In and Out, which Mom still doesn't know about.
And Eleanor had a hot chocolate.
Shh. And this was my favorite ice cream of the whole trip. It actually was even one of my favorite times we had.
Yeah.
It was called Mumumia, and the ice cream was just delicious. It was just a lot of fun sitting around the table. We're not cramped this time, and all getting to talk. And that's my mom and Mercelin and Hannah had just got back from their tea, so they joined in with us. It was
Yeah.
all three families.
It was so fun. It was so fun. The boys were loving it. They were kind of wild. They were starting to get a little slap happy. It was starting to
Sugar
get a little late. But it was such a good time. And whenever you do this stuff with people you love, it just makes vacations so awesome. So, we got done. We drove back home. I forgot to mention that the night before we had gotten home super. No, no, no. That Friday, that was the first Friday. We made basically the same drive, right? Because we drove from Pasadena down. And that Friday night after we got there that first time, we were so tired. But we got to our Airbnb. Now, on these trips, we like staying in Airbnbs. And the reason we like staying in Airbnbs is because we have a family of four. I know you go to a hotel room, they give you two beds, but there's no separation. There's no privacy. It always gets crammed in the bathroom, and you're just kind of on top of each other. What's so wonderful about a Airbnb is that you've got a kitchen, you've got a living room, you've got a bathroom, you got two separate bedrooms. We had two king beds, which I feel like is a delicacy anytime you go to California.
Yeah, Eleanor sleeps up in a little ball, so basically I had a king bed to myself. So it's
Yeah.
like ha ha ha.
And so it was a tremendous little place that we had. It was very safe. It was down in Santa Ana, had a gate, like a gated entry, so we had our own parking. We didn't have to park on the street, which was really nice. And literally the car. Now the one part is it didn't have a yard, and so the car was literally right out like we're talking like front step
Car.
car.
Like
Yeah.
I'd open the front door and then lean over to open the car door.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So we parked like pretty much right at the door.
Hmm.
But it was other than that, everything went really well, really great there. We had a lot of breakfast food that we bought, so we made a lot of food
Hmm.
in the Airbnb. That's another thing. It's a good way to save money. And we didn't have to clean very much because we made things that were easier. And so that part was really great too, that we were able to always have good fresh food, and a lot of space to s- to stretch out. And speaking of food, that is always a humongous part of each of these trips. Food is what we love to do. I think Zoe mentioned
Boy,
that.
we had a lot of food. I mean, a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, Zoe's mentioned in the past that food is kind of a major part of our trips, and
Mhm.
so that was no different on this trip. Food took the center stage as it always does.
And so did coffee houses.
Yeah, we didn't go to
That's
we went
true.
to well hold on we went to like four different coffee houses though.
Yeah, not a lot for being there for 9 days. Like I was expecting at very least 6, but
Hold on, did we only go to four?
we did only go to
One,
4.
two.
Although Morning Lavender is a tea room, not a coffee house.
Yeah, they serve coffee though, and
Yeah.
it's I mean yes they are a tea room, but their main thing is coffee. I feel like I don't know, it's
No,
kind of both.
their cream tea is pretty amazing.
Yeah, I don't know, but they had a really great I think they're just as much a coffee house.
Okay.
Either way, we went to a few different coffee houses,
3.5.
including one that I love. Uh, it was a new one to me, Mandarin Coffee Stand.
I loved the hot chocolate I got there, but more than the coffee stand itself that I loved, it was the area it was in. It
Yeah,
was like styled to look like a little London alley, and it had like kind of looked like Diagon Alley. It had like the wood like panels in the glass and the Coxwaltz style like flooring, and it
yeah,
had fairy lights, and it even had a red telephone booth, and it just looked
yeah. They were
out
definitely
of a
going.
storybook.
They were definitely going for that London
Hmm.
feel. This was in Old Town Pasadena. This was actually the second day I think we were there that we went there because we drove from Santa Ana back up to Pasadena like the first 3 days in a row. I think we did this. Um, we went up to Pasadena or Monrovia, that area, all 3 days. And we went there mainly to visit Mercelin and Ian, and we went to pizza that night too. So we got
That
coffee and
was
then went to
really good
pizza.
pizza. It was
Hmm.
called the Luggage Room, and it was tremendous. A lot of times, what I don't like about pizza is the crust is like really, if it's thin, it's like hard, and if it's thick, it's like just raw. But this crust was so good.
Yeah, it was kind of an in between. It kind of had like a Tuscany type bread feel to it. It was really good, but loved the place, loved the food. We got to hang out with Mercelin and Ian and their friend Joy, which was really good. We got to talk about life. We had deep talks, and then we went on a little walk of Pasadena. Got to go to the Tesla shop, which I always like to do when I'm there. Oh, in the Allbirds store. Got to look at the Allbirds shoes.
Why look at fancy cars and fancy shoes if you're not gonna buy fancy cars and fancy
Okay,
shoes?
so we haven't bought a Tesla, and I'm not sure if we ever will. Um,
I might.
I mean, they're cool cars. Like I like them. I
You
just
can it can literally auto drive you anywhere you go. You just press a button and it does it.
they are amazing. We also had an experience with that because our friend Mercelin owns a Tesla, and so she showed us the self-drive and self-parking mode, and it was like being in a Jetsons cartoon. It was
What's the
crazy.
Jetsons?
What's the Jetsons? Wow, I am old. So the Jetsons are a family that lives in the future. George Jetson has a job. He makes cogs or sprockets at Spacely
What's
Sprockets. He pushed a
Spockets?
button all day. He pushes a button and then he leans back and goes to sleep. That's his job. But they live in the future, and so they live with like flying cars and a bunch of different stuff that.
That's not the future. That's today.
Well, I'll tell you, the Teslas kind of make it feel like that. Like, yeah, for sure.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Moving on. We went to Korean barbecue at Graham's, not
Yes.
Joe's. Graham's.
Yes. So last
Not
episode
Griff's.
we said it was like Joe's, but then I said, but it's not Joe's. Maybe it's called Griff's. It
It's
wasn't called
not
Griff's.
Griff's.
It's called Graham's. But it's not Graham the name, not Grahm. It's Graham's, Grams, like kilograms or grams, like a measurement of weight.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that goes because of how much food you're going to eat, right?
A lot of grams.
A
A
lot.
lot of grams. We starved ourselves the entire day and we
Yeah.
just stuffed our faces.
So this was Monday, our Newport Beach day. Wait,
No.
no. Our Newport Beach day was Saturday. This was Monday, kind of our off day, and we went to Graham's. And what we decided to do was we decided to not eat much that whole day. We basically I'm not gonna say starved ourselves because that's not correct. We went to an arcade. We did some other things, but we made sure not to eat much because we knew we were gonna eat a
Yeah.
lot that night. So if you heard in the last episode, the way Korean tabletop barbecue works is you go, there is a tabletop. They heat the tabletop in front of you. They keep swiping out the grill so that it doesn't get dirty, and they just bring you any meat that you ask for: bulgogi,
Mm.
sirloin steak, ribs, whatever you want. They just keep it kalbe, which is a marinated short rib,
So
and they just keep
good.
bringing it and bringing it and bringing it. I also got the cheesy corn, awesome, and I also got the things that I described as soggy cheese puffs.
Blech.
They
Rice
were
cakes.
they were super good. I liked them.
No, I did not.
I thought they were good. But yeah, I mean the food is amazing, and you just grill it right there in front of you to your liking, and you just keep eating and eating and eating. And whenever you get me and Ian and Jr. and Hannah and Mercelin all together, and you say eat as much meat as you want,
Oh no.
we're gonna put away a lot of meat, right? You and Sissy and Mommy
Hey.
still ate.
I ate as much as Mercelin. Hannah's the one. You, Hannah, JR, and Ian are the one who went boss mode.
We did go boss mode, and you know what? I didn't even feel sick.
It's a miracle.
I
It's
know.
called not overeating.
I didn't overeat. I just ate a lot. I don't know if that makes sense.
It doesn't. Not really. A place I
That's okay.
wanted to overeat at was the Basil and Company. Oh my gosh, Thai food. Thai food, Thai food, Thai food. I love Korean food. I might like Thai food better. I don't know. I'd have to think about that statement. They had this amazing steak salad that I could have just ate all day.
Yeah, it was super good too. That's a Thai food place that we went to on our very last day there. And we're going to go back through and we're going to give you a bunch of bonus episodes that will come out in the off season. So between seasons, we're going to have recorded some reviews of different places that we've eaten. And we'll also do reviews of attractions or things we've been to and seen. And including Disney attractions, and those will release as bonus episodes throughout the off season. In between season 1 and 2, so sometime over the summer, those will just be little 10-minute, 5-minute, 15-minute little bonus episodes that come out here and there. And we're going to dive into each of these restaurants more and more, describe the ambiance and everything. But needless to say, we enjoyed ourselves with food on this trip a lot. We always did, and we always end up having great places to eat. There are some other places that we're going to talk about, but we're going to kind of talk more about our day at the beach now. And when we went to the beach, we went to the beach for the expressed purpose of relaxing.
Mm-hmm.
At least that was Mommy and Daddy's plan.
That
What was yours
not
and Sissy's plan?
to get all our energy out and for it to be nice and hot. That it didn't happen. We didn't get to swim on the beach and have the normal experience, but I still had a great time.
Well, you did get to swim. We
Yeah,
took you
I
swimming.
was just freezing.
It was freezing. So we went to the beach, Newport Beach, and I'm getting confused here. Zoe, help me out here. So we got there on Thursday. We went up to Pasadena on Friday, and then it was Saturday. Saturday we went to the beach, the first day. Now Newport Beach is it's got a lot of surfers that like to go there, and we went to the pier, the Newport Beach Pier, like I said, surfers were out that day because it was a Saturday. So parking was really hard to find. But here's a tip. If you do ever go to the pier, you're going to end up, and you go for like 5 or 6 hours, you're going to end up paying about $20 in parking for those 6 hours. It's kind of a lot. But you can park on any of these side streets, not the main streets, but the side streets that are numbered streets that are really narrow, but you can parallel park on any of those for free. Now, we did not end up finding a parking spot on Saturday because it was super busy, even though it was cold. It was super busy. But when we went the second time, we found parking like right away, and it was absolutely free. Yeah. And so, if you ever do go to Newport Beach, don't fall for parking in the paid lots. There is a lot of free street parking that you can do. That's a free tip for you. But anyways, we got to the beach, and this is where Amanda and I spent a lot of time reading our Bible. And I spent a lot of time being nervous about the sand because I hate sand. I hate sand getting in my hair. I hate sand getting in my clothes. And since it was cold, I was wearing full
yeah.
clothes, and I may have honestly been a little bit annoying about it and
There
gave
were
everybody a bit
several
of a hard
times I
time.
wanted to just take a handful of sand and just like throw it at him, or like even take one grain of sand and put it on the blanket and see his reaction.
Yeah, I regret that. Honestly, that was not
You
my
should have seen
finest
his
moment.
face when he saw I was taking home bottles of sand.
Yeah, I regret some of the anal retentiveness that I
Mhm.
showed on that because it really maybe even hindered the ability for you and Sissy to fully enjoy yourself
Yeah.
because I was always being
I mean, you
so.
still let us like build sandcastles, and you drew in the sand with us.
I did, and you swam.
Yeah.
You swam. You did get swim. You only stayed in the water about an hour.
Would you stay in water when it's like 60 degrees outside for more than an hour?
No, I barely walked in the water with my feet. Like I barely got my feet wet because it was so cold.
Yeah.
So no, I did not particularly want to go into the
Mhm.
water
And
this
then
time.
there was that surprise when we rode the four-person bike, buggy, I don't know. Basically, two people in the front of the buggy would pedal, and then Eleanor stood up in the front, and one person would sit in the middle of the two people pedaling,
Yep.
and we just went up and down the boardwalk,
We had
and
to
it was
talk mommy into that.
beautiful.
We had to talk mommy into this, but
Mhm.
so there is this wonderful place at the pier. It's a sports shop right at the Santa Monica Pier, and they rent out all sorts of equipment. It's a great service, and they rent out lots of bikes, and the bikes are actually pretty affordable. Like something like I don't
Mhm.
know, 15, $20 for an hour, and like you get like a third hour free if you rent it for 2 hours. It's a pretty good deal. So that way you don't have to take your own bike. And these are nice bikes. They
Yeah.
even have e-bikes, electronic bikes, which are great too. And you can ride them up and down the boardwalk, and you can go a long way. The boardwalk goes a long way down the pier. But we went to this place, and we found this like covered. The best way to say it, it's almost like a covered wagon. I think they call it a surrey, and it's like a covered bicycle that has two sides to it. Two people pedal, and it is stupid heavy.
It
Stupid
was
heavy.
so much easier without like mom and Eleanor. Me and dad like we took it for a test ride at first, be like, oh, can we actually pedal this? And I was like, oh yeah, this is easy. And then they got on, and I was like, this is not easy.
It was not easy, yeah. So we all took turns swapping out, except for Eleanor. She was too little to get to the pedals. But we all took turns. The three of us took turns swiping out, pedaling, and driving. And we had a great time. We made it about a mile down and a mile back in an hour. I know that doesn't sound very far,
It
only
was
two
heavy.
miles,
It was
but
so
it was
heavy.
so heavy. And we got out, we rested, and we looked around
Mhm.
when we were riding. But we had a great time nonetheless doing that. It was so fun.
And then we
We
went.
also don't forget the donuts.
The donuts are actually the second day of the beach.
No, no, no. We
Oh yeah,
got
they
taco.
were.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. The first day we went. This is while we were still down in the sand. We got there. We got donut holes
Yes.
from Seaside Donuts, and we got two ham and cheese croissants
Should got 6.
that were to die for. If you're ever at Newport Beach, Seaside Donuts. Oh my gosh, they're open 24 hours a day too. I don't know if you know that. They don't they never close.
Ooh.
And they're
so
right
I
on the
can
pier.
Eat them like 24/7.
Right, like when we were walking late at night after sunset,
Yeah.
we could have got donuts. Yep.
I like that. I really like that. And then we went to Hook and Anchor, which was an amazing restaurant. I got chicken Alfredo because I'm not a fish person.
Mm-hmm.
Dad got fish and chips 'cause he's a fish person. Mom got fish and chips because she's a fish person. And
right.
Eleanor got chicken because she's not a fish person.
Yeah, it was super good. And this was more inland in Newport Beach on the peninsula there. And it was super good as well.
It was amazing.
Yeah, it was super good. And don't forget the sunset.
Oh yeah, we saw the sunset.
Oh, it was beautiful, wasn't it?
It was
The
gorgeous.
pinks and so good over the ocean. And there's like, so Newport, if you've never been there, it's a beautiful beachfront and it's super clean, super pristine. It is very popular, but in the middle of the winter, even on a Saturday, it wasn't like stupid busy. It was just pretty busy, but not like overly busy.
Yeah.
You know, like, and so we got some like really good views, and it kind of felt like at sunset, we were some of the only people watching it. You know,
Mhm.
like there weren't a ton of people around, so that was gorgeous. And then we walked down. It was a little bit cold by then, so we had jackets and stuff on, but we walked down, had hook and anchor, then came back and had one last surprise and treat at the end of the night.
We saw the bioluminescence. I was imagining the entire sea like lit up and glowing and glowing and glowing because I made the mistake of when I was little watching Moana where they see the bioluminescence and it makes the whole screen glow. Um,
So start by telling them what bioluminescence is. Do you know?
so bioluminescence is the
It's an algae.
substance.
It's an algae, and I think it's from
Yeah, I have no idea.
organisms in the algae. So bioluminescence is kind of a glow in the dark, and it makes this blue, glow in the dark tint. And whenever the waves come crashing in at night, it stirs up these organisms in this
Yeah.
algae, and they glow on the back of the waves. And so you see this blue glow in the dark like streaks on the back of the waves, and it was super cool. At first we had trouble seeing it, but then we went out further onto the
Yeah.
pier.
I could never fully see it because I was standing right next to like the light, so it kind of blocked it out for me. But I think it would have been a lot cooler if there was no like light.
No, I agree. Some light pollution made it a little hard,
Mhm.
but the
It was
being
still
out on the
cool.
pier got to where we were right over the top of the waves, and you would see it every now and again. Like not on every wave, but
Yeah.
on the bigger ones especially. You would just see this blue streak following the wave, and it was super cool when you would, and it just like looked like a fantasy movie. It was beautiful.
Mhm. And then we went back to the beach again on Wednesday. I think it was Wednesday.
Yeah, we went back to Newport Beach. Now this
No,
time,
we didn't go to Newport. We went to Balboa.
well, we did end up going back to the beach as well, if you remember, because Mommy and Daddy spent some time reading our Bibles. But you're right. Before that, Mommy wanted to go to Huskin's Coffee, which there's a Huskin's Coffee in Santa Ana where we stay, or it's actually in Tustin, which is right next to it. But we went to that, and it was great. We loved it. And then we went to, from there, we went. I'm sorry, that was the first day we went to Newport. But
Yeah.
the second time we went to Newport, we actually went to the Huskins in Newport on Balboa Island, which is a kind of old town, downtown shopping area that's on an island
It's really cool.
in between the peninsula and the mainland of Newport. So Balboa Island sits in
Yeah.
this little island in between the peninsula.
And we walked around and looked at the shops, got some saltwater taffy.
The candy shop was really good. I wanted some gummies, and they had these like perfect little $2 bags of very good high quality gummies that I was able to get.
And then
Loved it.
we got tacos. And I got a huge quesadilla, which I couldn't finish. So
Yep.
I thought I'll save it. But guess what?
Yeah, we were down on the beach by this point. We went back to that same little section on the pier to a taqueria right next
Yeah.
door to the Seaside Donuts place. Yeah.
So, guess what? I didn't get my leftover quesadilla because of the sea vultures. The seagulls swooped down and I mean picked up the entire leftover box and started to fly away. It was
Yeah.
hilarious.
They poked
They poked
a hole in it.
it.
Yeah.
And then I decided to punish them. I threw the entire quesadilla as one chunk, and they went berserk and were fighting over each other. Oh,
I learned something about the seagulls. Their
What?
beaks are super sharp.
Yes.
Because the box, it was not like a styrofoam box.
no, it was like a metal. Like
yeah,
it was like a
tin foil
Yeah.
and plastic, right? So it was like thick. Like you couldn't just kind of like push through it. They like pecked through it and like pecked through the entire box.
Well,
got
they
the food.
opened clams. What did you think?
Yeah, I mean, you're right. You're right. Yeah. So anyway, the seagulls got that food, which was super disappointing.
They're awful. They're awful. They're mean creatures.
And they fight each other.
They do. They're
Yeah.
kind of cute though.
Yeah, I did enjoy the seagulls actually. So Newport, I think we can safely say even over Malibu. Now maybe if we just spend a little bit more time at Malibu, but like even over
Malibu is more of a
Malibu-
rocky beach.
Right. There was 3 piers we went to on this trip. We didn't go to Santa Monica. I guess we saw the Santa Monica
Yeah,
Pier,
we saw it.
but we've been to Santa Monica Pier in the past. We've now been to 3 piers, not counting Pixar Pier at Disneyland. But
I count that one.
we've been to 3 actual piers on the ocean in California, And I think Newport. I think Newport Beach and Newport Pier is my favorite.
Yeah, that is one of my favorite beaches I've ever been to.
Yep, I agree.
I've
Hands
been to a few beaches.
You have it. I don't. I kind of like the one in South Korea that we went to. Wonju, not Guang. No, Gwangju is a city.
Yeah,
Wando, Wando Island. Yep,
That was it.
Wando.
I
That's
don't
my
remember that day as much.
Well, you were little.
Yeah.
Or
And then, sadly, our trip came to an end. We left at 9 a.m. So the flight home was a little bumpy due to there was a bunch of snow coming down. It was actually the day that the Chiefs played in like negative what 7?
negative. Well, it was negative 27 on the field.
It was negative 27 degrees, and a bunch of Dolphin and Chiefs fans were flying out on that flight because it landed in KC right before the game started. So we were with a bunch of football fanatics.
Yeah. So when we left
Crazy.
LA, it was 65 degrees at 7 a.m. when we flew out. Because we lose time coming back because of the time changes, it was still only a 2.5 hour flight,
Yeah.
but it was more like 4.5 hours because you lose it. You lose
Mhm.
2 hours
And
coming
then you
back.
basically lose another 2 hours because everything in California takes place, what would take place at 10 takes place at 12. It
Well,
felt like we lost
the culture,
4 hours.
the culture, yeah. Everybody sleeps in California. The culture is
I
a
love
lot more
it.
laid back. People eat dinner at 8 and 9 o'clock
It's
at night.
beautiful.
So we landed in Kansas City, and at the airport when I walked out at 2:30 in the afternoon, not wind chill. Wind chill was like negative 14, but like just the basic temperature was negative 4. So what we had done was we had left our coats in the car because we didn't want to take the coats on the flight with us.
Hmm.
So we had jackets. I had 2 pairs of pants, 2 pairs of socks, 3 shirts on. Like a t-shirt, a thermal, and I'm sorry, no, a t-shirt, a like pullover sweater, and then a jacket on top of that, and my hoodie, not my hoodie, my
Jacket,
beanie,
coat.
my
Oh.
beanie, on, and I went back to the car, had to scrape all the ice and snow off the car, warm it up. Then I drove it back to the airport, picked you guys up, and then we were very hungry because we hadn't eaten anything all day. So we started kind of thinking, how are we going to do this? The Chiefs game's here. Should we try to venture into downtown Kansas City with the snow and the cold and everything? From the airport, you're north of the city at KCI, so if you take 435, it brings you out about 8 miles away from downtown, right at the stadiums. And we could get past the stadiums to miss the game time traffic, or we could go downtown where a lot of the great restaurants are. We elected this time to take 435 instead of I-29 and going down to the city. We decided to take 435, bypass the city, come out right by the stadiums, get past the stadiums, and get into Independence. And we found a restaurant there that we looked up, and we were blown away by it.
It was so good. I got shawarma, french fries, mango juice. Oh, delicious.
Jerusalem Cafe. Jerusalem Cafe. There are 3 locations in Kansas City. I've only been to the one in Independence. It's amazing. If you like Mediterranean food, this would be gyros. This would be shawarma. This would be rice pilaf. This would be they make
Falafel.
fries, falafel. Oh my gosh, the falafel was great. You don't like falafel?
I don't like falafel, but I like hummus, and they had great hummus.
I hate hummus, which is weird because they're both made of chickpeas. So you don't like falafel, which is made of chickpeas. I don't like hummus, which is made of chickpeas. But we each like something made of chickpeas. I don't get it. So anyway, we went to Jerusalem Cafe, and it was the last thing we did on our trip. Oh, we also got Messenger Coffee in the airport, and let me just tell you, Messenger Coffee in the airport, just as good as Messenger Coffee downtown. So we didn't miss anything out there other than the food. They don't have food at the airport like they do downtown.
Can't get my BLT. That's sad. Anyway,
So yeah, then we came home, and that was the end of our trip. So it is now time for our quick top 3, and this will be quick. We did our top 3 different this time. Normally we would do like maybe a Disney top 3 or something like that. This time we decided to do top 3 moments from the trip, quick, and here we go. So I'm going to start with mine. Now mine aren't in order.
oh, mine are.
Yours are in order?
Yeah.
Okay. So here's mine. I'll just say my first one. This is
Okay.
not in order. Watching the bioluminescence from the pier. That was just such a special moment. I
Yeah.
loved being there with just the four of us bundling up. I got to kind of have a moment where I looked at you two. You looked at you two, looked at you three, and it was just like, God, I am so lucky. I'm so lucky to be here at the ocean, watching the bioluminescence with this beautiful family God has given me. That was a wonderful, beautiful moment. What was one of yours?
Okay, so I have them order, so I'll go from 3 to 1.
Okay.
3 was, I really liked riding the, like, bike, 4-person, thing around the boardwalk.
Awesome.
That was really fun.
Yep. Okay. And that was actually one of mine too. So I'll just go ahead and say that one now. Riding the 4-person cart in Newport Beach down the boardwalk. It was like a workout.
Yeah.
You know, speaking of workout, we got 21,000 steps. 21,000, 10 miles of walking in 2 different times on this trip. Pretty amazing. But yes.
Both of them were
Anyways,
Disney days.
riding the 4-person cart at Newport Beach.
And
Loved it. One of mine.
Okay, and then my second is I loved going to Griff's, the Korean barbecue place.
Graham's.
Graham's. It's a joke. I loved going to Graham's with just everyone and just hanging out and having amazing food.
Absolutely, and hey, that was my final one too. So we shared 2 of them. We shared 2 of our 3 top moments. Going to Graham's, and you know, like you said, I think I could have just as easily put in hanging out at the ice cream place or hanging out at Mercelin's house with everyone, because at the end of the day, like I said, 8 of the 9 days we were there, we spent with people we love, doing fun things, and mostly just visiting and talking and telling stories and laughing together. And so doing that around amazing food at Graham's, yeah, can't beat that.
I picked ice cream because that's when everyone was there. When we went to Griff's, Silas and Siren didn't come, but I loved going to Moo Mia's and having amazing ice cream and just everyone being there.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a great trip. We thank you guys for listening to part 1 of this two-part scrapbooking episode. We're going to ask you to join us in 2 weeks when we talk about our days at Downtown Disney, Disneyland, and Disney's California Adventure when we finish up this scrapbooking of our California 2024 trip. Thank you for joining us. See you later.